Lesson 4.4 is going to take a couple different parts, so we're going to go over part 1 right now, and this is writing linear equations in standard form. So far we've written them in slope-intercept form and in point-slope form, and I did introduce you to standard form a while back, but let's look at it again. Standard form is the form ax plus by equals c. A, b, and c are just real numbers. Please use capitals. That's the proper form when you're identifying the a, the b, and the c. And a and b cannot both be 0, because if that happened, we'd end up with 0 plus 0 equals a number. And unless that number was also 0, first of all, it's going to be an untrue statement. And second of all, 0 equals 0 is not even a line. Okay, here's a couple lines that are written in standard form for you. The A is 6, the B is 24, and the C is 18. They're asking us to write two actually, equations in standard form that are equivalent. All we have to do to make them equivalent is multiply or divide every single term here by the same number. It doesn't matter what that number is. I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by 2. So 2 times 6x is 12x, 2 times 24y is 48y, and 2 times 18 is 36. So these two lines or equations are equivalent. If you were to graph them out, they'd be the exact same line. It says to come up with 2. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all three of these terms and I'm going to divide them. I'll divide them all by 6. I could divide them by 3, I could divide them by 2, but I'm going to go ahead and divide by 6. So when I do that, I get a 1x plus 4y equals 3. And again, all three of these equations are now equivalent. They would graph out to be the same line. Here, we'll do the same thing. I can multiply by negatives, so I'll multiply by a negative 3. Negative 18x minus 3y equals negative 3. That is equivalent. I can go on and multiply this equation now if I want to. Because it's equivalent to the first one, let's just multiply it by, how about negative 1? Negative 1 is a legitimate number. So this gives me positive 18x plus 3y equals positive 3. All three of these are equivalent. And the reason we're doing this is to set us up for what's going to happen a few chapters from now. You'll see. And I'll reveal it to you when we get there. Okay, this is write an equation in standard form of the line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. There's a couple things that we can do. We can use point slope form, which is what we had in our last lesson, or we can write it in slope intercept form, but ultimately we're going to change it to ax plus by equals c. I'm going to go ahead and write the first one in point slope form, and the second one I'll do slope intercept, just so that you can see it doesn't really matter which way you do it. Recall that point slope is y minus y1 equals the slope times the quantity x minus x1. So I have y minus negative 10 is plus 10 equals m times x minus x1. Now I have to manipulate it so my x's and y's are on the same side. So the first thing I'm going to do is distribute the negative 4. So I get y plus 10 equals negative 4x plus 36. Oops, not 30, or 3x plus 36. I want to move the x to this side and the 10 to the other side. So to move the x, I'll add 4x to both sides, so I end up with 4x plus y equals, to move the 10 over, I'll subtract it, so it's going to equal a 26. There's ax plus by equals c. The a is 4, the b is 1, and the c is 26. Now the second one I said I was going to do in slope-intercept form, so recall y equals mx plus b. So y is negative 4 equals m times x plus b. So I get a negative 4 equals negative 15 halves plus b. So I need to add 15 halves so that I can solve it for the b. And this becomes negative 8 halves when I change negative 4. Negative 8 plus 15 is positive 7 halves. So b is 7 halves. So my equation to start out with in slope-intercept form is y equals 1 half x plus 7 halves. So again, I need it in standard form, so I need to move the x over with the y. So to do that, I'll subtract it. So I end up with a negative half x plus y equals 7 halves. Yes, it's okay if you call the 7 halves 3.5 or 3.5. Okay, last two. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to write it in standard form, but of course they're not giving us the slope this time. So we have to find the slope first. So I will go 6 subtract negative 3 is 6 plus 3. Negative 5 subtract 2. This is giving me a 9 over negative 7. Well, aren't they just sweet giving us this nice little fraction here? So my slope is negative 9 sevenths. I prefer point slope form, so I'm going to go ahead and put it with that x and y. So y minus y1 is y plus 3 equals m times x minus x1. So I get y plus 3 equals negative 9 sevenths x plus 18 sevenths. And I know I want to move this here and this over here. I'm going to erase this line so I have more room. And I end up with positive 9 sevenths x plus y equals, I have to subtract 3. So when I subtract 3, I'm really going to subtract 21 sevenths. And that gives me a negative 3 sevenths. Now you may see it written like this. I want to eliminate this 7. And remember, as long as I multiply everything by the same amount, I'm good to go. So if I multiply everything by 7, the first term is going to become a 9x because the 7's will cancel. 7 times y is 7y. And 7 times negative 3 sevenths is negative 3. This is just easier on the eyes. These are equivalent because I just multiplied by 7. This is a little more easy on the eyes though. Let's try this one. So my slope is negative 1 plus 8 and negative 3 minus 6. So my slope is 7 over negative 9. Well, isn't that nice? They just kind of reversed it for us. So 7 over negative 9. I will go ahead and choose this point. So I have y plus 1 equals negative 7 ninths times x plus 3. So y plus 1 equals negative 7 ninths x minus 21 ninths. We can talk about simplifying that in a bit. I want to move this here and this here, so that's going to give me a positive 7 ninths x plus y equals, I'm going to subtract 9 ninths because I'm subtracting one whole, so that's negative 30 ninths. And then we could simplify it so that it's 7 ninths x plus y equals negative 10 thirds. I like it a lot better though if we multiply by 9, because that would give me 7x plus 9y equals negative 30. And I just think that looks so much nicer. Okay, your assignment for 4.4 part 1 is page 254. Problems 1 to 4, 8 to 10, and 14 to 22.